Hello. Been thrown another curveball. So today the talk is entitled Connected to Everything, to All. Yesterday at the New Way, Sue's talk was about Jesus and the Quantum Worldview. And so I wrote this morning, Jesus and other masters have a quantum worldview. One of the things that sets them apart is that they do not see themselves as set apart. They perceive the entire cosmos inside of themselves. That is expanded consciousness. Is that what we are awakening to in this ninth wave? I certainly hope so. I was still awake at 1 a.m. and woke up just before 4 o'clock. Got out of bed at 20 after 4, spent nearly an hour in the meditation room. And of course, when I meditate, I observe my thoughts, and sometimes I get fairly clear images of things in my mind or my mind's eye. And I've been very absorbed, as you're aware, in what's happening with me personally. But what was happening in the meditation this morning is that I was getting images of people that have been dispossessed from their homes around the world. Many living in tent cities or just living in the wilderness without actually having a home that I think of as a home, and that many people in the world, or certainly the Western world, think of as home. Actually, not just the Western world. Most people think of a place, a structure, an abode that has some permanence to it that they call home. And home is really important. It's where we can feel safe. It's where we can feel secure. And we have a right as human beings to be safe and secure in our own homes. Yet I know that many people around the world were not safe in their own homes and dispossessed. Images of what's happening in Gaza, for example, where these huge Israeli bulldozers come in and just demolish the homes of people, and places where they have a lot of artillery and other implements of warfare, where they just blow people's homes to smithereens. These were the images that I was seeing in my meditation this morning. The people that in Africa walking miles and miles just to find water. And I wouldn't even consider it water worth drinking. And yet, to them, it's the water of life. And people that not only don't have homes, but don't have food. And don't have much to even sustain their existence as human beings. And these were the images that were coming to me this morning. And I am connected to all of that, to each one of those human beings. Both the human beings that are suffering and the human beings that are making the others suffer through ignorance and lack of compassion and greed and blindness. Why do masters appear to be set apart? Because most of us see ourselves as set apart. And so that which is different than us is out there, it's other. But if we could only see as the masters see, there is no other, there is no out there. It's all right here, it's all inside of me, it's all one. I had intended to bring you Sue's message from May the 8th. Yes, I received the video last night, and after the podcast with Mark and Christopher and oh God, Thomas, and I think there were a couple of other people that were on the call for 2 hours between 8 and 10 p.m. last night. After that was all finished, I put the video into my computer and put it into Windows Movie Maker, which is where I do my videos every day. And then I went and got myself a bite to eat because it had a little timepiece on the images that were in the Windows Movie Maker from the video. And I thought, well, it's taking some time to process something. And I went and made myself something to eat, which was the first time I had actually eaten since breakfast, believe it or not. Very, very early yesterday morning, and I realized all I had had all day, a couple of pieces of candy and water. That's all I had had all day long. I came home from the pod and had a nap for about an hour and a half, thank God. Then I got up and I had some Republic business to take care of. I had a couple of phone calls and some emails to respond to. And time got away from me. Before I knew it, it was time for me to have the podcast. So I never even took time to eat the entire day till when I had that movie in there. And then when I came back from making myself a bite to eat, I came back to the computer and it still hadn't done anything. And so I checked and realized that the movie was in QuickTime. And then I did some internet searching and I realized that Windows Movie Maker can't read QuickTime files. So I went to Zamzar, which I use as a file conversion tool, and they don't, even when you pay to be a member, which I'm not, I do the free service. If the file's over 1 gigabyte, it only handles files up to 1 gigabyte, and this file is 1.7 gigabytes. And so I tried to find a free thing. I downloaded 3 other programs, and none of them converted it to an MP4 or a Windows Movie video format so that I could use it in Windows Movie Maker. I even tried to download an Apple Movie Maker thing, and I failed on that. So after over 2 hours, I finally gave up and called it a night and went to bed, and then I couldn't go to sleep because all of these things were going on through my mind, because I am connected to all of this. And yet I am observing myself. And that part of me that's observing is also connected to all of it, but in a completely different way than I am as a human being. So there's 2 perspectives. And I'm walking in 2 worlds, as Greg Braden calls it. I'm between the 2 worlds, yet within them both. And if that doesn't make sense to you, well, maybe you're not yet able to perceive what I'm perceiving. But that's what I'm perceiving. I'm able to see myself in both places and in all these circumstances. I'm able to perceive myself there, which is why people say, well, Ron, what you're fighting, the battle that you're fighting for your home, that has nothing to do with anybody else. Oh, yes, it does, because I'm connected to everybody else, and everybody else is connected to me. And so I don't get to do things always the way that I want. I share these things and I ramble on and on like this, talking about Sue, talking about the Republic, talking about all these people that are homeless, talking about all these things, because it's all interconnected with what's happening on this planet right now. We are becoming aware more and more of how things interconnect and interact with each other. This is a quantum worldview, that the world is something that's being created. Now, in the talk last night, in the interview with Mark, one of the, I don't know, remember which one, maybe Christopher, brought up a vision that someone else had shared of the world splitting into 2. And the people that were left in the current world looked at the people that were split off into the new world and thought that they had just simply died. And it said, isn't it crazy that they actually believed that there was a new world, that they couldn't accept the world that we're living in, and they couldn't see that the other people actually were in a better world. They couldn't see that. And I reacted to that comment because I know that that's a potential. I know that's a potential. Everything is a potential. But I've always wanted the whole thing to come together. Unity consciousness, universal consciousness, everything as one, co-creating a new world together where both of the elements, the dark and the light, dance with each other and co-create. The masculine and the feminine energies come together and they co-create together a whole new world where everyone is secure and able to live in peace, where justice has prevailed and where peace reigns over all the earth. That's been a vision of mine virtually all my life. And people have called me a utopian person. You know, you're all you can see is utopia. Yes, I see utopia. Yes, I see this beautiful world where children are able to play safely everywhere in every corner of the planet and grow up knowing that they are loved and wanted and safe. But that's not the world that we live in. That's not the world that I see every day. I see people being dispossessed from their homes by a system that is insane. It is absolutely insane. And it's absolute insanity. And the only way that I know to fix it is to hold it in my heart. The whole world in my heart. I'm not separate from any of it, folks. And neither are you. If you're seeing yourself as separate, you're not understanding who you are. You are an infinite and eternal child of the living God, the Creator Spirit, the Great Spirit that made everything and that inhabits everything and everyone. It is all one cosmos. It is all one universe. It's one dance. It's the dance of opposites. It's polarities, learning to coexist with each other in a beautiful synchronistic web of life that gives life to every part of itself, because it's all one. It's all one. And that's what I want to share with you this morning. That's what I want you to see. That the struggles that people are going through, you're not disconnected from them, and to turn your back on them and to turn your head away from the hard things to look at. I understand why. I understand why people are drawn to turn themselves away and why they want to embrace only the positive. But if we embrace only the positive, we never heal the negative. The negative is rejected. What we're calling negative, the dark, the feminine is rejected. And yes, the feminine is the dark energy that is the womb. It is the internal womb of creation. And it is in birth pangs right now to give birth to a new humanity, a humanity of masters, a humanity of light beings, where we recognize that we're all together in this thing. And until everyone is loved, no one can be secure, and there cannot be peace. So as Spirit was directing me this morning, I'm directing you to allow yourself to see from the perspective of a master, not disconnected from anything, but connected to everything, and willing to love in a different way. There's some things posted on Facebook, a new note where you can help me as far as signing petitions, and you can address people that are in power. A lot of people have been helping me. There's information on my website, on that channel, on that page for justice, and I'll probably be posting more things, although maybe not till tomorrow. And there's a lot of things that I have to work on. But I leave you with these things. Please help me if you can. If you feel you can't, that's where you are, and it's okay. I love you anyway. But I do ask for your help because I want your voice to mix with mine. Anyway, have a beautiful day. Namaste.